Okay, so I know I said I was gonna write about this, but now I'm out and about. I'm not inside of my hotel room where I can be attacked the entire time. And my foot got something on it. So I'm gonna talk about it. So the morning of the 27th, I was supposed to check out of the hotel, and the reason that I didn't check out of the hotel is because Crystal that works the desk, she got a hold of me. I wonder if I should touch on what's going to take place today. Anyhow, she got a hold of me. She told me, she said, I called her and I told her, I said, I'm checking out today. I said, I'm checking out today, but I wanted to request a late checkout. And she was like, okay. And I told her it was no or whatever. But then she called me back. And I saw she tried to reach me before I called her. But when I called her, she didn't say anything about it. So I had a missing call from the hotel at 9:54. And I didn't call her till about 10, a little after 10. Probably 17 minutes after 10. And like I said, when I called her, she didn't say anything about it. You can imagine there was a lot of cursing and spelling that went on surrounding me leaving the hotel, and about how they weren't able to afford for me to leave the hotel, and things of that nature. They're talking about how I'm sitting on this rock. And what's touching the rock. Anyways, she calls me back after I call her, and she's like, pretty much, she saw I was checking out today, and she's like, she said a couple of other things. I made a video before that, and I think I might have annotated, what was said, the brief things that were said in that. So I'm not going to contradict it, because I really can't remember right now. They're not allowing me to recall. But I said that, she said, come down and talk to me and Jim real quick. Jim is her boyfriend. So I'm like, okay. I get dressed and I go downstairs to talk to them. And when I get down there, she's like, so what do you get, a check? And she's like, having a real sort of like, can't believe this shit moment, okay? Like her eyes are bugged, and she's chain smoking with one cigarette. And when I say chain smoking with one cigarette, that means that she's smoking fast, okay? And like constantly rolling her eyes. And her boyfriend, he's not doing as much, he's not allowing his frustration to show. And these are all followed by curses that they couldn't afford for me to leave the hotel, because of the lies that they told, the things that were associated with them claiming that someone was doing something for me. Like I said, didn't show near as much on him as it did on her. And he did most of the talking. I'm talking about he did 90% of the talking. 90% is more like it. So she's like, so what do you get a check? And I'm like, what do you mean? And I'm like, yeah. And I was like, I get Social Security. I was like, but I also get money for going to school, and they were like, oh, okay. And he was like, well, we're asking because, so look, check this out. Before that, they said that she ran my car. There is something that I do know about the two that run the desk that I've come in contact with. I've only made payments to two folks that run the desk. That's her, and that's VJ, which is the general manager. And I know that VJ literally asks me to come down every time because he doesn't know how to process a payment on the same card that's already on file. But she knows how to process the payment to the same card on file. So if I call her and I decide to extend, I won't have to go down and actually present my card. She'll just charge the card that's on file. So they said that she did something days. Also, this is associated with the curses. They were claiming that she did something she wasn't supposed to, trying to know, because they were telling them that they can max out my funds. And then, they said she was going to lose her mind when she found out that, it would never happen and that I always get money. Because they were thinking that, they were just going to deplete money for some reason or another, and then that would be the end of it, and I wouldn't have any money at all or any way to recover. And I'm like, y'all are such fucking dummies. Like, how in the fuck do you think I got a mortgage? You know what I'm saying? Like, if I don't have a unearned or earned income, how did I manage to obtain a mortgage? This is what I'm saying to the feds, while they're talking about the impression that they have these identities under. And, they'll show up and they'll play stupid all the time. It's just them. It's always them. So that's why I try not to entertain a lot of it, you know what I'm saying, because it's always them occupying their identities and acting out some shit that they know ain't true to begin with, so yeah, they said, can you see these huge ass blackjacks? I know you hear them, but can you see them? So they went on and on. Or wait, I went down there and I talked to him and he was like, yeah, I was like, yeah, this is what I get. And I was like I told y'all before, it was never about the money. When the rental car got taken, I was like, it was about me not having my cell phone and not being able to transfer funds, because that is literally what happened. Essentially, no matter how much I didn't know it, you can tell that's what was going on, because it was never about the money. I was like, like, if I need to, I'll pay it. And that was based on whether or not things went according to plan. But like I told them, I was like, and it's crazy because, like, the rental car, like, I was like, budget, they fucked around and they like maxed out my credit card. I was like, what was supposed to be originally $300, and then I extended to $800, turned into a $2,300 charge. They were pinning all the old damage on me. I was like, that's the only thing I can come up with. It was like, well, I've rented from Avis before, and I'll tell you this, they do try to do that, so you absolutely have to get a hold of them and do this, that, and any other or whatever. And they were like, well, look, we're asking you all this because we're looking for someone. And they were like, and it's pretty much because the night shift isn't being covered. The shifts aren't being covered like they're supposed to. And I was like, yeah, I kind of imagine, I was wondering how y'all two manage, because like the hours I see y'all work, it's impossible, for y'all to be there. You get what I'm saying? And it was like, yeah, so we were looking for someone. And they was like, if you're willing, but we need to know how long you're going to be here. So they're trying to figure out how long I'm going to be at the hotel or whatever. And I'm like, so they wanted to know about my finances. And that's what I said in the video before going downstairs. They wanted to be nosy or whatever. And it was like, and if you were to leave here today, where would you go? I was like, I have a friend. I was like, but it's not ideal. And like, I literally had nowhere to go, but that's nobody's business. And like, if she tried to charge my card, and it said something like insufficient funds, because the first thing she asked me, she was like, what are you going to check? Pretty much asking like, how is more money going to appear? You get what I'm saying? It was just weird. So yeah, they were like, but we need to figure out how long you're going to be around. And I was like, not long. I'm like, I'm trying to go back home, pretty much after around the 3rd or the 4th, after I get some money and I can move it around, after I get my new card. I didn't say money. I said after I get my card and I can move some money around. They were like, I was like, and they were like, so pretty much how are you going to go? And I was like, I'm probably going to catch a flight or whatever. I was like, I'll probably end up flying, after the shit that transpired with the rental or whatever. And they were like, yeah, well, we need somebody. She was like, but we need them longer than that. I was like, well, for as long as I'm here, because she was like, pretty much what we're trying to do is figure out what you owe now. They was like, because he allows people to extend and like promise to pay all the time, and they never do it. She's like, I'm not saying that you would do that. She was like, but we're just trying to figure out how we can, get it back or whatever. And she was like, so, but if you're not going to be around, she was like, and I was like, well, if you need me to stick around a little bit longer, I was like, I could until you find someone, like another week or two. And they were like, pretty much, they would have to run it past him and see what he said, run it past VJ and see what VJ said or thought about it or whatever. And like, VJ has just been in complete opposition. He don't want shit to do with me since they told him I was recording. Okay, like, ain't contacted me, ain't said nothing to me, y'all. Like, and you will see that timeline. And it's weird because I could have put like a whole sexual harassment thing, like for my room, to keep my room until I was situated and got my new car. But I wasn't on that. That's some weak shit. You get what I'm saying? Like, it was never about that, and it was always about me getting out of this situation and shooting my way out. And I've just been trying not to be real reckless with that. So this is all taking place the morning of that I'm about to shoot. Okay, like this whole thing with Crystal and her boyfriend Jim, this is taking place the morning of, and the agents know, and they're panicking. Okay, like they know I'm going to shoot my way out, and they know not only am I going to shoot, there's like two scenarios. They're like, we hope she doesn't play out the scenario where she runs and she takes off, and then we have to announce that she's on the run. They were like, because these motherfucking officers are going to lose their mind if they find out she's able to run, and we've been calling her these old people. And then there's the other scenario. They're like, she's just going to stand there, and like pretty much get them to not act a complete fool and surrender, and this is all taking place that morning. I'm talking about everything's in position. I have everything in position, and it wasn't until I had everything in position that I get this phone call from her. Okay, like they were absolutely trying to intervene and kind of throw me off and make sure that didn't happen, like throw a little wrench in the plan. And it worked, but it didn't work for long. It was like yesterday and today that I was back on that same shit. So the next day, literally, you know what I'm saying, I was just like, I can't be here and I can't be living like this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't keep having these things happen to me and nothing happen about it. This shit has to get out. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna get into all that. So she's like, 13 minutes. I'm trying to keep track because I gotta make sure I catch this next bus. So she's like, they're gonna run it past him, see what he thinks, and they'll get a hold of me, but it'll be before 12. So when they call me in my room before 12, they call me like, hey Tequila, she calls me like, hey Tequila, I got a hold of Dave, and Dave, your room's been paid up for the next week. She was like, so minus that 100 that you owe, she was like, you're paid through the 1st. And she was like, and he, she didn't say that he works for a charity. She said that they work. She said she had to say something about him being with some sort of organization. Okay, and like, this was also following, municipal court and CSS curses, saying that they needed to be able, like, I'm telling y'all, when y'all, about the weekend and the motherfucking holiday, trying to fuck all my shit up over the weekend and the motherfucking holiday, and then act like they were doing something for me. But we don't want you to be able to eat the same things you were eating. We don't want you to be able to do this. We don't want you to be able to do that. When you come across these bus drivers, they're going to rape you like the police. They're going to be stealing all your motherfucking eat. You think your face don't look nothing like it's like now? You think your body is breaking out now? Let me show you my body real quick. don't think, will it show real good right here, or do I have to turn it the other way? And that's like literally all the way around. There's even shit showing up on my thighs and legs now. My arms, you know, visible shit. They've gotten more reckless on my neck. It's trickling up to my face. The other side as well. I have a couple of spots on my buttocks. I have a spot up here on my head. Some more spots over here. So, and then there's my thighs. Like, they're spreading it down my thighs and onto my leg. And they're putting these nasty veins in my leg to call me ain't no telling fucking who. So, she's like, yeah, it's paid through the first. She was like, so you don't have to worry about that or whatever. She never mentioned what VJ said or running that ideal past him. She never, it never ever came up again. And now I'm in contact with this David guy. She was like, but he wanted me to give you his number and have you give him a call. And I'm like, okay, so I'll give him a call right now. And so I get on the phone with VJ, and you see, I mean, not VJ, with David, and you see how that goes. And that's what it was. She didn't tell me it was like a ministry or anything, or she was like, I know this guy that works with Peter, the last name of the foundation. She was like, and they help people out every, once in a while. When I get on the phone with him, he tells me, he's like, hey, I spoke with Crystal, and Crystal speaks very highly of you. She said you're not a user. She said that you don't party, and that, you're pretty much a really, like, good person or whatever. And he was like, you're not a user. You don't party. And it was one other thing he said, but I can't recall right now verbatim. And I was like, oh, that was kind of her. And he was like, yeah. So he was like, right now you're covered through the first. And he was like, if something should happen and things don't go right, let me know. And you see that conversation, you see the end of it on Instagram, and I'm telling him, I'm like, yeah, she told me to get a hold of you if I needed food or like bus passes and stuff like that or whatever. At that time I was down to like $20. Maybe I said the exact number in another video. I had like $26 maybe. Right now I have 5. So and the entire time they're still doing a ton of cursing and spelling, claiming that I'm with people, that I have a boyfriend. They're calling me her still. They're still calling me Crystal. They're still calling Crystal me, and claiming that someone's doing something for me. So they're acting like all this shit. They're acting like the reality, the tortures and the suffering of reality aren't taking place. And the food that they brought me, that's not the type of shit that I eat. Like I eat, like I'm not a snacker, so like I don't live that way. And as much as I appreciate it, I'm like, it just, I could never, like I tried to give it away to the housekeepers today, but neither one of them would take it. They said they don't eat it. I think I'm going to do a part 2 of this video, because I'm 19, almost 20 minutes in, and I need to make sure I don't miss this bus. And the whole reason I'm out today on Memorial Day and then stay there and hunt is because I'm looking for some motherfucking ribs. I got to get a home cooked meal, y'all. So I'm headed to the hill. I'm going to the west side.